Hello, dear friends. I'm Marina. I hope you can see me and hear me. Please let me know in the comments. I see that there are people already here. So, welcome to our full moon webinar. Today, we are going to have a live video about the upcoming full moon on the 26th of August, not July, like I first wrote. So, yeah, we have a couple of days until the upcoming full moon. And also, this is the first full moon after a couple of eclipses. So, the last three lunations were also eclipses, so the energy was very specific. Now we have a regular full moon, but also very, very interesting. I would say even that's a magical full moon. First of all, because of the sign positions, Pisces is one of the most mystical sign in the zodiac. And also we have a very, very interesting aspect configuration, which I will show you in a little bit. So this is a magical full moon. First of all, the exact date, so the 26th of August, around, I believe, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, is the full moon. The exact positions are 4 degrees in Pisces for the moon, and of course, 4 degrees in Virgo for the sun. So in our video today, we are going to talk generally about the full moon. What does it mean? What it brings? What can be positive? And what we can do when we have a full moon. So basically how to take advantage and do the best that we can. And after that, I will show you also the concrete chart of our full moon. We are going to discuss shortly all of the aspects related to this full moon. And after that, we're going to make a short prediction for each zodiac sign so that we can be prepared which area can be triggered in our horoscopes. Okay, so I hope you're excited as I am. To be honest with you, Pisces is really one of my favorite signs. Maybe because also I have a very strong Pisces energy. My moon is in Pisces as well. But I think that this is one of those really special signs. Very mystical, magical, related to, well, different things. Some of them really positive, others really challenging. But when something is on a very high level, things are usually not simple. That's how life works usually. So with Pisces, things are not simple. And by the way, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with some of the interpretations of the glyph of the Pisces. Let me see if I have it here. Well, yeah, it's not really here. You can see the Pisces. So basically, these are two fishes. That's what the Pisces represents, two fishes. And it's considered that one of these fishes is looking on the upside, and the other one is either that or trying to go to the bottom. A little bit, contradictory, but I think it's so true for the Pisces energy. I'm sure that many of you know some Pisces people, or you are Pisces people as well. And you know that sometimes this sign can bring, well, lots of challenges, including unhealthy behavior. And in other cases, this can be such a magical sign which makes people so empathic, so helpful, so ready to make sacrifices. So very, very interesting, very, very interesting sign. So first, let's talk a little bit about the full moon in general. So as we know, the full moon is when we have an opposition between the sun and the moon. It's simple as that. It happens once in 28 days. So this is a regular cycle. This is something we are used to. And also, what does it represent? Basically, the sun represents our conscious mind, in short, and the moon represents the unconscious mind, our emotions, things which may not be aware of in some cases. And the opposition between the sun and the moon is basically the biggest distance we can possibly have between the sun and the moon. And figuratively, this is the time when the conscious mind can see the unconscious or subconscious mind. So from one side, the full moon is the period, the time when we can realize something important. When it might be something which is coming from our unconscious mind, it might be something which has been suppressed, like an emotion or negative memory or some kind of trauma. And this is the time when we can get more conscious, we can become more conscious about those patterns. So one of the great things when we have a full moon is to look in ourselves. It could be a time when you can realize something important for your personality, for your behavior, your emotions, or maybe even certain situation or a relationship with another person. But looking closely at the situation or at ourselves is what can brings us unexpected answers. Also, that's why the meditation can be very helpful. In this case, when the moon is in Pisces, the meditation is probably the best thing you can do. But when we have a full moon in general, this is a great idea because through the meditation, you can get those insights easier. So first we have seeing or realizing certain truth when we have a full moon. The other thing which is represented by the full moon is materialization of something. Something which you can bring to its culmination, something which you can make final, some kind of concrete result. And this is usually related to the area of the moon. So where the moon is falling in your natal chart, I mean the moon from the full moon, that's usually the house where you can achieve something. There might be some kind of materialization. Just an example, of course, we are going to talk about each of the zodiac signs, but for example, in my horoscope, I'm a Cancer ascendant, and the full moon will activate my ninth and third house. Ninth house, both of the houses are related to education. Ninth house is more about philosophy or, education, which opens up your mind. Astrology is related to ninth house as well. So something I'm going to do is visit a training also in astrology for 10 days, starting literally in a few days. So this is one of the ways to use the full moons. Find out where the moon is falling in your natal chart and try to achieve a visible result in this area. And also the other thing that we can do on a full moon is make some kind of change. Again, the position of the moon will show you in which area you can achieve this change. So see the truth, materialize something, or change something. These are the main things we can do. And also the other thing is separate with the past. It could be, in most of the cases, something concrete. It could be a behavior. It could be an emotion, memory, some kind of blockage. But of course, the most important is that you must be ready to release that. So if you're ready to let it go, that's a great time to do that. But don't do it using force or in a harsh way. If you're not ready, it's not going to happen. You have to let it go and not try to throw it away out of your life. Very important. All right, so let's talk about the signs. Of course, the sign positions are very important. one of the things that the full moons are reminding us is that in our life or on this earth, we have duality, or we have opposite things, because basically as the sun and the moon are in opposite signs, and those signs are in some way very different, at the same time they have something similar. That's true for all of the signs which are part of one axis. We have 7 of them, in our case Virgo and Pisces. And I know that here I include me as well. Very often we are judging something, or we don't like something. For example, there are bad people, unfortunately, doing bad things, or some kind of, unlucky situations. But the truth is that in order to have something good, the bad should exist as well. Otherwise, we won't be able to define it. And that's just the truth. On this earth, we will always have this duality. And the full moon is the time when we should remember that. And some go even deeper by saying that if you have certain quality really developed, really strong in you, the opposite quality is always part of yourself. I know it sounds, well, very strange, sometimes even terrifying, but there must be some kind of truth here. Of course, this is more a psychological topic related also to the shadow of the person. I'm a huge fan of Carl Gustav Jung. He talks a lot about it and the suppressed qualities and what they represent. So a huge topic. But anyway, the full moons remind us that we need the two opposite signs. We need the two opposite polarities and energies. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. But as we said, there is always something similar between the opposite signs. And in our case, Pisces and Virgo, the similar thing between both of the signs is that they are related to serving others. Helping and serving others. Of course, the two signs have completely different approach, but they're both related to that. And it doesn't mean, by the way, that if you're a Virgo or a Pisces person, your only mission is to serve others. But of course, that's why we need the whole horoscope. We need to analyze everything. But generally, we are talking now about the nature of the signs. And that's, simple theory. Virgo and Pisces are the two signs related to serving others. That's it. They're also related to health issues. Our health, the balance of our health as well is related to those signs. Also here, we have a difference in the approaches. Virgo is a very, very practical sign, very pragmatic, very oriented on details, on visible, measurable things, grounded. I think you know what I mean. The Virgo energy is very typical. Pisces are quite the opposite. They are dreamy, they are not in touch with reality. Sometimes they may, fall into the trap of their own illusions. They're trying to escape reality. That's where their tendency for addictions comes from, because that's just a fact. And also Pisces is a very spiritual, mystical sign. So Virgo as a sign, the Virgo people, they need to see it. They need the details. They need the facts. Pisces is the sign which is related to belief. So you don't have to see it, you may just believe in it, and for you it exists. So belief system, also dreams are related to Pisces as a sign. Spirituality in general. In some way, religion may also be related to Pisces as a sign. Very, very also compassionate sign. Pisces are the people who can feel, who can sense others. They have a great intuition. So here basically we have the two polarities, the mind and the heart, the logic and the intuition. You can see, but if you can combine those two signs, and basically you can achieve a huge balance in this way, you are complete. Because sometimes, you know, those two things, they cannot live without each other. If you're only focused on the logic, you're missing part of the world, you're missing part of life. If you're focused only on dreams and emotions and intuition, you're missing the other part. So basically, we need all of the energies, all of the signs in order to be complete. All right, so which are some of the greatest things we can do when we have a full moon in Pisces-Virgo? So first of all, focusing on our health. If you have some kind of unhealthy habit, smoking, drinking, maybe even gambling, it's also an addiction, maybe eating unhealthy food, or maybe sleeping too late. For some people, you know, it's a problem as well. Something which is not positive for your body. This is a great time to try to separate with that. So again, as we said, not pushing it away using a force, not, you know, cursing and blaming yourself. Instead, you have to relax and let it go. And it happens when you're ready. That's how it is. So health issues can be solved or improved. Also, making some kind of sacrifice, helping someone else, helping your partner, helping your children, helping someone you don't even know. And of course, this is not a way to manipulate life, but you may notice that if you start to give to others, they will also give back. It may not be from the concrete person you have made the sacrifice for, but the universe will compensate you in one way or another. So making some kind of sacrifice is also something which might be very helpful. The other thing related to those two signs, work and rest. A Virgo as a sign, the pure energy of Virgo, that's one of the most typical workaholics, together with Capricorn, perhaps. The Virgo people, they are always engaged with work, with obligations, they are responsible. And on the other hand, Pisces energy is related sometimes to escaping from responsibilities, escaping from what we have to do in some cases in our own world. Isolation is also related to Pisces. And taking a rest, sleep is related to Pisces as well. So this is also a great time to find, or to try to find, the balance between your work and your, well, the time you take for yourself or for, you know, for a rest. A great time. And also all kinds of spiritual things might be very helpful. Connecting with your intuition, meditations, all kinds of, you know, practices in this area, you may notice that are really, really helpful. Okay, so now that we know the most important things about those two signs, let's talk more concrete about our full moon on the 26th of August. So the most interesting about this full moon is that it is part of a very mystical aspect configuration, which is called a kite. It's not something difficult, don't get scared. Basically, what's the kite? The kite configuration includes a grand trine. So basically we have three planets connected with trines. the positive aspects. And we have one another planet, which makes 2 sextiles with 2 of the planets and 1 opposition with the 3rd planet. So I will draw it very quickly here. Just give me a second. So here is the trine. Just let me open my screen so that I can see myself. Okay, so here is, we have 3 planets. In our case, here is the Sun. Here is Saturn. Just let me check again. Okay, we have Saturn and Uranus. So this is our grand trine. The Sun makes trine with Saturn and Uranus. So this is considered to be one of the most positive aspect configurations, the grand trine. But we also have a 4th planet. So in our case, this is the Moon here. And the Moon makes aspect with Uranus and Saturn. This is the sextile aspect. Okay, and opposition with the Sun. And if you look at this, it literally looks like a kite. And that's where the name is coming from. So we have 3 trines, this one, and this one. These are the, well, most beneficial aspects in astrology. We have 2 other aspects, the sextiles. Also very positive aspects, but not so powerful as the trine. And here is the most important part. We also have this one opposition. And as you know, or you may not know, it's not a problem, the opposition is considered to be a challenging aspect. But here is the important part. If you have only positive aspects in a natal chart, even sometimes in the transit, someone with only positive aspects tends to be sometimes unmotivated or even lazy. Usually, when we want results, or the highest results are achieved when we have a mixture between positive, supportive aspects and some challenging aspects. And here is the important part. So basically, the opposition here brings this motivation, this desire, this force that pushes us to achieve something. And this configuration, the kite, even though it has a challenging aspect, this is a more productive configuration than only the grand trine, which is, considered to be the luckiest possible configuration. Here we have more achievable results, more concrete results with this configuration. So very, very specific. Very rare, I would say. If you have it in your natal chart, then you are a special person, definitely. And now that we have this configuration, basically, these are some special periods for all of us, some special moments. And I think that something remarkable might be achieved thanks to this combination of positive aspects and some challenges. And by the way, the highest potential is here, the planet which makes the 2 sextiles and the 1 opposition. Also in your natal chart, if you have a kite, this is the key planet. And in our case, on our full moon, we have the moon. And we are going to talk about the position of the moon, of course, for each of the signs. But if you know your chart, you can also find for yourself where is the 4th degree Pisces. This is the area, this is the house where you can achieve something remarkable. Let's look at the chart, actually. Let me share very quickly my screen. All right, so this is how actually the chart looks like. the chart of our full moon. Here is the sun. Here is the trine with Saturn, the trine with Uranus. So basically this is the grand trine. And here is the moon making 2 sextiles and 1 opposition. So, by the way, I think that this is the most positive aspect combination for during the previous months, I believe. So very, very positive. Uranus and Saturn are supporting the full moon. What a remarkable combination. And also, they're so different. Saturn supporting the full moon can help us to be very practical in our decisions, very logical. The results that we can get can be very long lasting, can be stable or even permanent in some cases. So Saturn keeps us near to the ground, but in a very soft way. So we are not pushed, we are not, you know, forced by the circumstances and by the harsh reality. It happens in a smooth, natural way without any force or, without the feeling for like you're, pushed or something. And on the other hand, Uranus, as a completely different planet of Saturn, can bring something new in our life, something unexpected, more freedom, more excitement, creativity as well. So very, very interesting combination. Freedom, that's one of the key things about Uranus as well. So this is a fantastic combination, and both Saturn and Uranus make positive aspects with the Sun and the Moon. They make trine with the Sun and sextile with the Moon. So really, really interesting. Pluto makes minor challenging aspects, square and a half with the Sun, semi-square with the Moon. So we can get a little obsessed with our ideas or thoughts or plans. But at the same time, if we put efforts, we can transform something. But it requires work. So the challenging aspects, they require effort. And also Venus makes minor challenging aspects with the Sun and the Moon. So emotionally, we might be really engaged with what's happening. And sometimes we may get things too personally when we have those aspects, but Venus is not a harmful planet, so this aspect is not a problem at all. And there are also green aspects from Mars and Jupiter. So we are capable of taking action, and also we can focus on our future, we can focus on our goals. Jupiter can bring success, can bring opportunities. So very, very interesting full moon. By the way, we also have Mercury already direct, which is great news. Very soon, on the 26th, 27th of August, so basically soon after the full moon, probably on the very next day, Mars is already direct. So there is a shift in the energy around us, and the energy should become easier, more positive, and things should start moving forward. Because honestly, especially during August, with those eclipses, with Mercury and Mars both retrograde, I guess that many of us, have faced with some challenges and things working not so fast, or some kind of repeating situations, or things coming from the past that we need to handle. Now, basically during September, I believe things will change in a positive direction. So the main idea related to this chart and the kite configuration, find out where is the moon falling in your natal chart, the 4th degree of Pisces. Now we are going to say a few words about each of the zodiac signs using the equal house system. But if you know your chart using the Placidus house system, you can check that for yourself as well. And the main idea is that this is the house where you can achieve some kind of change, you can materialize something, you can realize an important truth, and basically you have a lot of support in this area. So use the next couple of weeks for some work. All right, so let's stop that and let's come back here. Okay, so let's start with the 12 zodiac signs. And yeah, one more thing I just remembered. Also, keep in mind that on this full moon, we have a lot of Earth energy. Basically, 5 planets out of 10 are in Earth signs. So we still, even though the moon is in Pisces and we can be dreamy and fantasize, we still need to be close to the Earth. It's time for work. It's time to achieve some visible results. It's time to get things done. So don't forget it. With the Pisces energy, I know it's not so simple, but that's why, we have this balance, because if certain energy is too much, it's usually a problem, especially in another area. So in some way, this strong earth energy might really support us. Basically, the grand trine is in earth signs. So anything related to work, anything related to long-lasting things and projects, business projects, creating something, it might be related not only to work, but building up something is very supported from this earth combination. So moving to the 12 signs. Aries. For Aries, the full moon activates 12th and 6th house. So basically the moon is in 12th house, which means time when you can work with your unconscious mind. You can set free from the past, literally. It doesn't mean from your whole past, but it might be a certain memory which might have been hurtful or depressing or something like that. So separating with your past, letting it go, all kinds of spiritual practices can be extremely helpful for you. And also this can be a time when you need to find your rest balance. If you are exhausted, if you are not taking enough time, probably this is the time to think about it. So rest, spiritual work, working with your emotions, looking inside of you also is a great idea for Aries, especially if your ascendant is in Aries. I think that the most accurate prediction is based on the exact position of the moon where it's falling in your chart. So it means that if your ascendant is in Aries and the moon of the full moon is falling in your 12th house, then this prediction is related to you. In some cases, the sun sign can also give you some information. So usually I pay attention to both of the interpretations, but more on the ascendant part. So Taurus, for Taurus, the full moon is in 11th and 5th house. 11th house is about, first of all, friendships, people who are like-minded souls, people who are part of the same community. So if that's relevant to you, if you are part of some kind of community, or if you have, some projects together with your friends, this is a great time when you can achieve something. Or also if you have some kind of friendships which are not helpful, or people who are hurting you, maybe this could be the time when you can decide to separate with those people. And also 11th house is about our ideals. So the ideals, they are not so simple to be described, but this is something, like a higher value for you, something that you appreciate so much in life, something, the idealization is not always realistic, but usually, it's something very positive, something which is, like the perfect picture for you. So in some cases, this is the time when you can materialize some of those dreams, some of those ideals. So focus on that as well. For Gemini, the full moon activates 10th and 4th house with the moon in 10th house. So important position, one of the cardinal axis of the horoscope, time when you can achieve results at work, or you can materialize something, or you can change something. For example, if you are not happy with your work, this might be the time when you can finally take the decision to move forward, or you can make the needed steps to change the situation. So focus on, and I always, recommend people to start with themselves. Even though you may, want someone else to change. For example, you're not happy with your boss. We are talking about 10th house. Think about, you don't have power actually to change him, but think about what is it that you can change that might provoke the change in him. So always ask yourself those questions. And that's true for, each area of your life. If you want someone or something to change in certain area, first start with yourself. And you have to change something first. Or at least that's what where your power is. Actually, usually we can't control other people. So for Gemini, work, obligations, business, communication with authority figures as well. Sorry. Please excuse me. Okay, we are moving to my dear ascendant friends, the Cancer people. For us, this full moon activates 9th and 3rd house, as I already said, with the moon in 9th house. So, first of all, great time to materialize some of your goals. Great time maybe to prioritize your goals or to change something about this area. So, focus on the future, focus on your perspective. And also education, of course, especially if that's something not so practical, not so, technical probably, but sorry, more like something which opens up your mind, something, of course, like astrology, something which covers basically everything. So focus on education, and don't forget, focus on your beliefs. As we said, a great time to separate with something is the full moon. And also, with this position, that's a great time to separate with your limiting beliefs. People have many desires regarding different life areas. That's completely normal. In most of the cases, some of those desires are not true or not achieved yet. In many cases, our limiting beliefs are the problem. So if that's true, if you have concrete idea, concrete goal or dream, but it's not materialized yet, maybe you need to think about or dive deep in your limiting beliefs and let it go with love. All right. Next we have Leo. For Leo, the full moon activates 8th and 2nd house, and specifically the moon is in 8th house. So first of all, you can pay attention to your health. These are also health houses, 8th and 2nd house, like just like the sign positions Virgo and Pisces. So a great time to think about how to improve your energetical balance. Maybe also to ask yourself the question, are you giving as much as you are taking? And the opposite, there are people who have problem with taking. So this is also an issue. It includes your energy, it affects your health as well, it includes your finances, of course. So think about it. Are you allowing the energy to flow smoothly, or are you keeping something old and not allowing the new things to come into your life? It creates blockages, very often, unfortunately, also illness at some point. So, working with your energy, separating with the energy that you just don't need, not allowing the energy of other people to interfere with you. So, probably for you, it's a great idea also to make some kind of cleaning of the energy. There are different techniques, practices which are really simple and can help you to clean the space around you, the energy around you. A great idea for Leo. For Virgo, a very important full moon falls in 7th and 1st house. So basically the moon is in 7th house, so the area where you can achieve something, where you can change something here, is the area of relationships. So for some of you, this might be a time when you can separate or put the end of an unhealthy relationship, or some kind of pattern of behavior in your relationships also. But again, as I already said, first start with yourself. So think about what is it that you can change in terms of your relationships, and eventually which can provoke the change in your partner or in your mutual relationship. Also, this might be the time when someone can achieve a very visible result related in this area. So perhaps if you have a business partnership, also you can achieve something together with your business partner, or maybe an important event in the life of your personal partner. Of course, these are some of the options. Next, we have Libra. For Libra, the full moon activates 6th and 12th house. And 6th house is related to your health. So very important position and combination, health. Also work, your daily routines, your daily schedule, your responsibilities in general. So for Libra, it's a very important question. Do you think that your work and the time that you take for yourself are balanced? For example, if you're exhausted, if you're overwhelmed, this is a time when you may, reschedule things or change something. Of course, again, with the unhealthy habits, a great time to separate with them. Food, whatever, change something also in your diet, change something in your, the way you're eating, your nutritional plan or something like that. Maybe also, by the way, a time to search for a new type of therapy, for example, if you need it. And it doesn't need to be a serious health issue. Maybe you have some minor health issues, but if you find a way to fix them, if you give them enough attention, you improve your life in general. So ask yourself those questions. Maybe also a great time for some routine exams as well. For Scorpio, the full moon activates 5th and 11th house with the moon in 5th house. So personal life, love life, children, creativity, entertainments, hobbies. Maybe time to change your approach in that area. Maybe time when you can achieve something. For example, if you're an artist, you may notice that you're really productive during this period, that you're really inspired. After all, the moon is in Pisces, so we are talking about inspiration and creativity. And also, maybe if you have children, if you want to change or improve your relationship, also great time to focus on that area. Your relationship with children, of course. And your love life. If you're not happy with your love life, it doesn't matter if you are single or if you're in a couple, ask yourself, what is it that you can change? Maybe it's your attitude, maybe it's your beliefs, maybe your behaviors, your behavior or expectations, but focus on the things that you can control, and that's mostly yourself, your thoughts, emotions, those type of things. Next, we have Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, the full moon activates 4th and 10th house with the moon in 4th house. So, time to find more balance at home with family members, or maybe also how much time you're spending at work and how much time you're spending at home. Are those things balanced? Or maybe if you're neglecting your family, they may require more attention right now, or you may feel happier actually spending more time with family members. And all kinds of changes related to your place of living. It could be your home, some kind of redecoration, some kind of improvements, reconstructions. Other people may even decide to move, to relocate. Of course, these are some more important events which require also other influences, but this is an option. Next, we have Capricorn. For Capricorn, this full moon activates 3rd and 9th house with the moon in 3rd house, meaning that that's a great time also to pay close attention to your thoughts. Are you saying some negative thoughts? Are you repeating some negative thoughts about yourself? It might be, judging yourself about something. It might be judging others. Are you focusing only on things which are not working or are wrong? This is a great time to separate with the unnecessary thoughts which are not helping you. Also, all kinds of ideas. Also, time to think about education, to think about your skills. Mm, Third house is the house of education, which is related to practical things. So here we don't have philosophy, we don't need such a deep understanding. We need practical things which we can learn faster and implement immediately, and they're practical. So, do you need some of those skills? A great time to focus more on that, to learn some of those necessary for you things. Yeah. So, education, information, your thoughts, some of the things to pay close attention to. Then we have Aquarius. For Aquarius, the full moon falls in 2nd and 8th house with the moon in 2nd house. So, time to first of all think about the energetical balance again, taking, giving balance, health balance as well, and also finances. Um, do you need to change something in that area? If you're happy with your finances, then probably the answer is no, you don't have to change. But if you're not happy with that area, is it that you're not earning enough, or you're spending too much? Or maybe you have no idea how much exactly you are earning and spending. So try to, pay close attention and put some order and structure in this area. And you can change something. For example, start writing your expenses, how much money you're giving for food and for this and for that. And you can get a clearer picture about your financial situation and what needs to be changed. So the focus for Aquarius is mostly on practical, measurable things, resources, and finances. And finally, Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac, which I think I have already said that previously. Um, it's considered that Pisces includes all of the other signs. That's why it's such a deep, such a complicated sign, difficult to be understood by others very often. It just, it has many layers. All of the signs are here. Anyway, I'm saying this because the full moon is very important for Pisces people. The moon falls in your first house, so time to focus on yourself. What would you like to change? Are there qualities that you don't like? Are there patterns of behavior or results that you would like to achieve? So, what can you do to improve your life and achieve results? That's the main question. So, personal change, personal understanding, appreciating yourself, and trying to, to understand yourself. Okay, so these were the most important things, or the basic things that we need to know about this full moon. So now I would like to invite you to make a very short meditation to allow the energy to flow, to heal us. You're welcome to do the meditation now with me. If you're watching the recording, of course, you can do it as well. You can repeat it after that around the full moon. So, as we said, the 26th of August around 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So, let's do this. Let's make this short practice. So, if you're ready, just close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths, breathing through your nose and trying to relax as much as you can. Uncross your fingers, your hands. You can, open your hands and with the palms on, on the upper side. And we are just relaxing. We are feeling safe, comfortable, and we are taking this time for ourselves, focusing on our inner world, our emotions, our thoughts, and also while we are all alone, feel the connection with the other people. Feel your connection with all of us who are meditating right now. So we are at our private space, we are safe, we are alone, but we are also connected. Okay, and we are creating a beautiful energetical field which connects us all. And imagine, like, there is a space above you or in front of you. And here in this space, we are going to put something that we would like to separate with. So, what is it that you don't longer need and want in your life? Maybe it's some kind of fear, maybe it's some kind of memory. Just imagine like you're putting this in this magical space. You're letting it go, but very tenderly, very softly. And while you're doing this, while we are imagining letting go of this thing, also say thank you to this thing. Even if it has been hurtful or difficult, there was a reason for this to be part of your life. So appreciate that and send it with love. You can even make a gesture with your hand, like you're letting it go softly, like you're saying goodbye. And remember, we are doing this with love. And also feel thankful, feel like you really appreciate the experience or the lesson that this thing has brought to your life. But now we are letting it go. We have learned our lesson. We are still breathing, also, we don't forget about it. We are breathing and we feel connected with the divine energy. Trust the universe that it will take care of you, that everything has a meaning, even if we don't see it right now. Someone else is taking care of us, and we are not alone. So feel this support, feel the love around you, and take the conscious decision to pay more attention to those things. And feel this inner peace, like you're opening up the space, clearing the old stuff, the unnecessary stuff, all of the baggage, and you're opening the space for something new to come, something beautiful, something wonderful. And we are expecting only the positive things to come into our lives. And now we can also send a positive thought to all of us, to the other people who are meditating, connecting with us, wishing the other people something positive, something nice, and allowing their positive energy to come to us as well. And this field allows only positive energy, nothing else can come. So we have a filter allowing only the positive vibes. So Imagine that you are sending your positive energy to all of us. And now imagine how you're accepting the positive energy from others. Okay, and now we can take a couple of breaths and come back here again. Remember this feeling of peace, and whenever you need it, just come back to this same place where you will find the energy you need, the support you need. So just remember this condition, this state. And when you're ready, take another deep breath. And on the exhale, you can slowly, gently open your eyes. Okay, I hope you're feeling nice. I hope you like this practice. Remember to come back whenever you need it. Remember that this space is always opened for you and for everyone with good intentions. So I really hope that I have inspired you with this live talk. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining the meditation. We all appreciate your presence right now in your time. And I'm preparing some wonderful surprises for you, which I really hope I will be able to announce at the beginning of September. So there will be more positive things to all of us. Of course, if you want to connect with me, if you want a personal reading, you can find the links in the description below. Stay in touch with me. As I told you, I'm preparing some wonderful things. And also, if you're not subscribed, of course, you're welcome to subscribe to my channel. You will get notifications for future events, for everything important. Hopefully tomorrow I will record the September videos, the monthly videos. So come back tomorrow. Hopefully you will find them. Yeah, and again, thank you so much for spending your time. Thank you very much. And I'll see you really soon. Bye bye.